yesterday I decided to go watch Nosferatu because lately I felt like my life has needed a little less and a little bit more stab, stab, stab. Just kidding.
Okay.
Nosferatu is the latest movie from Robert Eggers. I wanted to see one of his movies for a long time, but then finally realized I actually did see one of his movies when The Witch came out. I don't remember the movie that well, but what I do remember is that it was beautifully directed, and luckily Robert Eggers' movies haven't changed since then. If anything, they've gotten better.
Yeah, boy.
Watching this movie, I felt more like I was actually transported into a small European town instead of just like watching a story about a character in a small European town. Everything about the settings, the locations, the costumes, the makeup was all beautifully done, detailed. It's just a hell of a thing to see that honestly I feel like I don't get in movies anymore.
I don't know what you're saying!
This movie has some very theatrical acting. To me, this movie felt like it was pretty close to tipping the line of it was ready to break out into a musical at any point. It doesn't.
Oh, thank God.
But it felt close. But honestly, where this old school type of acting, this theatrical acting might seem a little cheesy, it's actually used more to portray the actor's pain and suffering in the moment.
Where is my mother?
Again!
Where's my mother?
More than anything else. And in this type of movie, it works so well. In terms of your actors, Lily Rose Depp is just crushing it on screen. The amount of emotions she had to just fly right through, just to all like maybe in the span of one scene and maybe even multiple times, is just insane.
But I've never been so happy.
It was pretty crazy to watch. My name is Tony, and I am a Nicholas Hoult fanboy. Everything that guy is usually in, I freaking love, and this was no exception. The fear and pain that guy shows on screen, just kind of don't know, is he going to die at any moment? When is it going to happen? Because this guy is clearly afraid for his life. And he should be. And honestly, who wouldn't be afraid when you have Pennywise chasing after you? Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, that's awesome. It looks like the head is like twisting.
So he's here again, portraying another movie monster. I never saw original Nosferatu. I don't think I ever will see it. So I don't know if his character is a straight adaptation of this really old movie character. But I will say, his voice, his essence, it is pretty scary. He sounds a little bit more like an old man that's kind of winding back on a spring that could break at any moment, and he's gonna wind back and lunge forward. It's all very creaky and just barely moving along.
Oh, that was a bad snap. I'm hurt.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's also in this movie. He is a friend of Nicholas Hoult, who he watches over Lily Rose Depp when Nicholas Hoult goes off to meet Nosferatu. And this poor guy just cannot catch a break. He's also pretty good in this movie. He turns from like a really good caring friend to more just he just can't deal with it anymore type situation to the worst. Not he's the worst, it becomes the worst. So two Robert Eggers alumni, Ralph Ineson and Willem Dafoe, are in this movie playing two doctors. Ralph Ineson is a medical doctor that is called in to check on Lily Rose Depp after she starts succumbing to some issues. When he can't figure out what's going on, he calls upon Willem Dafoe's character, who happens to be his mentor. Apparently he was a once beloved doctor in his community, but then he switched over to, I think they said it was the occult. But Ralph Ineson calls him in when he can't figure out what's going on with Lily Rose Depp and her issues throughout this movie.
I think I've been poisoned by my constituents.
So now I'm going to do some more generalized spoilers. So this movie is a love triangle between Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, and Nosferatu. Nicholas Hoult and Lily Rose Depp's characters are newly married, but before they were married, before they even met, Lily Rose Depp's character pledged herself to Nosferatu years prior to them meeting.
Oh man, I hate it when he tells this story.
She just wants someone to love her. She just needs someone's love and affection. So it was really to anyone. And Nosferatu hears her wish, grants it, gives her love and affection, but then quickly thereafter decides to start torturing her. So the titular Nosferatu isn't really in this movie that much. When he is, he's mostly hidden in the shadow. There are some moments, maybe you see him in his grave or something like that. I think they flash to him in his grave a lot.
You're waking the neighbors! Shut up!
He looks a little bit more like a sickly man with a big push broom mustache. He has a very loud, growly, gravelly voice. Also very breathy when he talks. Sounds like he's out of breath, but it is very loud. When he gets angry, it's very, very loud. This movie was very loud. My knowledge of vampires is very limited. You have fangs. You drink blood. You can't eat garlic.
Garlic?
You can't go out in the sun. But in this interpretation, he doesn't really have any vampiric powers that I would generally associate with a vampire. He does drink blood. He doesn't drink it through their neck, though. He drinks it through their chest. More specifically, their heart.
Give me some of that!
I think it's the heart, at least. He sucks on their chest.
Give me some of that!
He drinks the blood of a few people. And at least one I can, off the top of my head, Nicholas Hoult, think of. Yeah, he doesn't die or turn into a vampire. He just, I think, starts to become, like, kind of sick because he's getting blood drained from his body.
I'm not feeling so well.
But yeah, they don't really say anything about, like, weaknesses, so there's no mention of garlic or a crucifix. They do mention a couple times a stake through the heart, but it never is executed, so we don't know what would happen if a stake actually went through his heart.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
His other power he seems to have is haunting people with horrifying dreams that drive them either insane or to do his bidding. Mostly it seems like he just gives them awful dreams that makes people start to lose their mind a little bit.
Okay, I'm insane, but I'm still sane enough to know it.
And I guess in some forms there's like a little bit of possession in this movie. There's like a light exorcism, because one of his superpowers is he possesses people, sorta. This movie, I'd say, is part vampire movie, part exorcist movie. So this whole thing of Nicholas Hoult going to see Nosferatu at his castle was just a trick to get Nicholas Hoult to sign an agreement saying that he would divorce Lily Rose Depp's character, so that way Nosferatu can come swoop in and take her. But he can only take her if she agrees to the terms of the divorce and agrees to be with Mr. Nosferatu. So unless she verbally agrees, then nothing can happen.
Dang it!
So he pressures her into verbally agreeing by saying he's just going to kill everyone in her town, their friends, loved ones, and stuff like that. It really seems to only be Aaron Taylor Johnson's character that suffers all the punishment, you know, from Nosferatu. Every time Lily Rose Depp says no, she refuses his advances, he just starts killing Aaron Taylor Johnson's family. Kind of reminds me of a certain Futurama episode. So Nosferatu gives her 3 nights to accept his advances. On the 3rd night, she finally accepts because it's a trap to kill him.
It's a trap! It's a trap!
The only way to kill him is every night before sunrise, he needs to be asleep in the coffin and earth that he was buried in.
That makes sense to me.
She agrees to be with him, and so on that night, she lets him feed on her, which takes, I guess, all fucking night. He's been so distracted because he finally has the love of his life. So the sun comes up, he realizes, oh, this was all a trick this whole time. And she just kind of smiles and like, "Up, I got you, fucker."
Got him!
Yeah, so he ends up dying. In the sunlight, he doesn't turn into flames or anything like that. He kind of turns a little bit more sucked in, gaunt, and then spits out a whole bunch of blood. Yeah, and then he just kills over kind of on top of her.
Night, Lois.
While she's dying, Nicholas Holt sees her one last time. You know, they see each other one last time, and then that's how the movie ends.
Good night, everybody!
The thing that stuck out most to me is there's a couple shots when Nicholas Holt first meets Nosferatu in the castle. The very first time, it's completely pitch black. The only time you sort of see Nosferatu, they do a really, really old-timey close-up of his eyes. It's just so cool. It kind of had me, like, take a breath for a second. I really wish they would have used more of it. Everything else about the movie was really, really good. It is a bit more of an artsy movie. I'm not 100% into artsy movies. I mean, I can definitely enjoy this for what it was. I'm glad I went to the movies to see this. So, anyways, that's all I have for the movie. Nosferatu. Bye.